are you talking about with electricity tariffs? You know, I bought 4,000 cedis before 14 days now. All is done. Yesterday I had to pay 10,000 ahead of time because I know that the electricity I'm buying will not take me more than 3 weeks. What are we talking about? We rent, spare parts, 20% VAT on spare parts dealers. These are critical issues, and these are the things people should be looking at, not sloganeerism.
His argument is that inflation was high under your tenure. Citi could not be stabilized. He's done that within a year. Is that not an achievement?
It's an achievement for him because all we are seeing is not practical. Practicality demands that people will feel that there is money in their pocket, that the money they now have can buy more goods than fewer goods. What is happening? People are complaining. The monies they have in their pockets cannot afford to buy anything. We are not able to pay rent. We are not able to buy spare parts. We are not able to do very basic things. What's happening to the first year students and their payment of fees? What's happening to even SHS, free SHS? The media should take a critical look at all of this. And even what is happening to press freedom. A media person who is a military officer was violently abused by Standogbe, and nobody is talking about it.
The president did condemn it and called on the various security agency heads to make sure there's that kind of collaboration between them and journalists.
He condemned who?
Attacks on journalists.
But that is the point I'm making. This is his deputy chief of staff. Has the president ever formally come out to condemn Standogbe's very terrible behavior? No. I was hoping that he would have used this opportunity to condemn it. That a military media officer was abused by the president's own deputy chief of staff. And these are practical things we need the president to be condemning. Galamsey is the highest of this moment. And I've indicated to you that this is what is happening. Every step of the way, people are complaining because physically, practically, they do not have cash to deal with anything. What's happening to the tomato sellers who just lost their lives? Is it because they are not politicians? Is it because they are not ministers? So nobody is paying attention to them. 8 women or whatever number of people died. And nobody cares about it. And all we care about is to come and do slogans and come and complain. Is Akufo-Addo still the president of the Republic of Ghana, or is President John Dramani Mahama? He is the president. He has to deal with the issues and stop complaining. Fix it, Mr. President. Fix it.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with us. You heard Jerry Ahmed Shaib, the second deputy minority whip in Parliament. I also have with me the MP for Kwando. Honorable, you've had the privilege of the president addressing the House on the state of the nation. What were the major highlights for you?
I think it's clear that the main issue of the stabilization that this country has been, the trajectory of stabilization that this country has been put on from the death of mismanagement of the economy as the NDC government inherited. We've realized that all those fundamentals are being turned around. Inflation, it's amazing to know that inflation has been on a 13 straight month decline, and from a position of about 30% that we knew it is gone down to 3.5% as of the last month, and the figures and everything, points to the direction that the government under the leadership of John Dramani Mahama it would see better things to come. You saw even growth, 6.1% that we actually have been on for the last, I would say year, has been sustained, and everything points to the direction that the things, the impetus, the key ingredients that will let the real sector grow, they're all being done. For instance, if you take the 24-hour economy policy that has been put forward by this government, what we need to know that is currently grounded by law. So what that is going to give Ghana is that all the duty bearers, all persons that have something to do with collaborating with the governance of Ghana, collaborating with government to ensure that things move forward, they would look up to this law. It's been passed into a law by the Parliament of Ghana. So the provisions under the law would empower people to act. And then what we also have to know is that some key things have to drive these things to work. For instance, if you take the road sector, government has pumped in a lot of money under the big push agenda to ensure that roads are being done, and these are the things that will drive the economy. So it is not just a policy that is existing on paper. So the mishap that we've inherited or that has befallen this country, for instance, the cocoa, which my colleagues on the other side, the minority, is touting as the downside of the governance in this country right now. We just compare the figures to what Cote d'Ivoire, next door, another, among the number 3 in the country in terms of cocoa production. The producer price that Ghana is paying currently, low as it is, for which some people are blaming the government for, it's even higher than what our neighbors Cote d'Ivoire is paying. So these should point to, they should paint a picture to all that it is not deliberate, as some term it as haircut or a deliberate attempt to actually make it's just making the president and the government look bad. But I think that the trajectory we're on, the fiscal discipline that we've seen in the last year, for me, everybody should be applauding John Mahama for a good job done.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. That's the Member of Parliament for Kwando, Sebastian Day. I have also been joined by the Bekwai Member of Parliament. Honorable, you've heard your colleagues. Fiscal discipline achieved within the first 1 year of the Mahama administration is indicated that inflation has reduced 3.8. We've also had Citi stabilized. These are some achievements we believe that, or I should think that it's helpful enough to be able to enable the economy to grow. Do you see it from that perspective?
First of all, thank you for this opportunity. Let me make one point clear. The government has been in power for just 1 year. And you are here to deliver the State of the Nation's address, and it has taken you 2 hours, 30 minutes. What does it say? It tells me that you are giving a public lecture, because there's virtually nothing that you have done for you to take 2.5 hours, first of all, to address the nation on the State of the Nation. Now, you are talking about fiscal discipline. Inflation rate has dropped. CD, the dollar, whatever it is, has come down. Now, all these things, they are theory. The question I want to ask the president is that, does that put food on the table of the cocoa farmers who haven't been paid? It's a very simple question. Does the fiscal discipline, macroeconomic indicators showing positive signs, does that put roof above the head of the common Ghanaian? The true state of this nation, let me simplify it for you, is that there is total hardship everywhere you go. The government is simply not spending, and that is affecting you and it's affecting me, because until the government spends, nothing will come to your pocket. And if a government is not spending and you are bringing inflation down, the dollar or the cedi is appreciating against the dollar, then clearly you are rather bringing an untold hardship on the normal citizens. And that you want us to commend you for. You are here to serve us. So you can't say that you are going to score marks on fiscal discipline where the ordinary Ghanaian is suffering, when you are not paying cocoa farmers, when you are laying off youth without any justification, when there is practically no food for anybody to, no money for anybody to buy food to eat. So let me tell the government to hasten slowly. It is only 1 year. What we heard was more of a manifesto, promises, what the government intends to do. We are going to pray for the government to be able to do them. But for now, the true state of the nation is that the government has not been able to do or execute any policy that he promised Ghanaians successfully. And that, to me, is the true state of the nation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Your thoughts with us. You heard the Bekwai Member of Parliament speaking to us on the State of the Nation address by President John Dramani Mahama. We have also here the Honorable Sami Ewuku, who would also share with us his highlight of this State of the Nation address by President John Dramani Mahama. Honorable, thanks for joining us on Channel One Newsroom. Now, the President has delivered the State of the Nation address to the House. What were the key highlights for you?
So, personally, I have taken my time to compile the deliveries the failures, the broken promises of the Mahama State of the Nation address last year, and then juxtapose that with it for this year. Last year, the president promised us that we were going to have some kind of flexibility and reduce burden when it comes to electricity payments and that of tariffs. Down the year, and after his SONA, we've had electricity tariffs going up by 30%. But in actual sense, when you even purchase these credits for your own consumption, it's in excess of 100% that you are paying. Number two, the State of the Nation's address last year and the president's own ambitious, bold policies that he announced talks about over 112 commitments and promises that he made to the Ghanaian people last year. Out of that, we have had the president and the government delivering on 43 out of the 112. Number two, we have had the NDC also having 41 being ongoing projects, and you've had 25 not being touched at all. So you are talking about 38% performance on their own delivery for last year, 37 as ongoing, and less than with the remaining percentage going into something that they haven't been touched at all. Let me take you to the aquaculture and agri sector. They promised to also build modern fish landing sites. Not a single one was built last year, and harbors, not one. So clearly, you were tough and heavy on rhetoric, but very slow and low in the delivery of it. Let me also take you to the area of employment. I was amazed to hear His Excellency the President talk about 1 million jobs being created. When I listen to radio stations, when I watch your TV channels, I hear phone-ins. I see and hear and listen to text messages. And we have 1 million jobs created that the NDC food soldiers themselves, they don't know about this 1 million jobs. And they are even attacking their own host. I watch and listen to all your stations. I watch and listen to ChannelOne. I watch and listen to Class FM and Accra FM. I watch and listen to Ayaripa radio and TV. What I am saying is that maybe Mr. President, the people who are supposed to even do that survey and get you the actual feed on the ground, they may be failing in this duty. So maybe we can assist government with quarterly update that they come to Parliament for us to also give them the feedback from the people. At least we represent 276 constituencies, and we can give you the accurate reportage on the ground, even more than what you, the journalists, can do. Again, Mr. President last year, as part of the big push, said that they were committing $10 billion. That is in excess of 110 billion cedis. That big push for road infrastructure and development. Out of that, the government, the 110 billion cedis promised last year, they made a commitment of 50 billion covering 2025 to 2028. So meaning that you have about 60 billion gap. How is that going to be filled? And what are the measures being taken? Under the apprenticeship, the National Apprenticeship Program, or what they call the Ejumera Project, last year, you enrolled 10,000 young people. You are now beginning to pay the master craftsmen and the apprentice their stipends. Last year, you started last year. 10,000 of them, you are now beginning to pay stipends, as Mr. President said, and said some are ongoing. Just 10,000 of them. And you come to tell me that this year, you are going to recruit 100,000 of them. Massa, let's be realistic here. If 10,000, you are struggling to pay the stipends for the master craftsmen and with the chief of staff acting upon the instructions of the president. We couldn't have one white to come and meet the president when cocoa farmers, what they were promised for the 2025-2026 season, they have been shortchanged, reduced from 3,600 per 64 kilogram bag of cocoa to 2,500. And you have somebody who is a presidential staffer at the office of the president telling the farmers that 22,500 is bigger than 3,600. People should not insult the intelligence of farmers. We couldn't have one white to meet Mr. President at a time that young people are crying, middle class, upper class, and households are grieving over the Usain Bolt kind of electricity tariffs. These are not normal times for the Ghanaian people. And so if you saw us in black today, it is an exercise of our mandates as well, as members of the minority, to stand in the gap for the Ghanaian people and to also let them know that we shall never forget them. But we are happy, Mr. President, today has told us that 1 million jobs are available. And I'll be glad to also redirect the NDC food soldiers who come to some of us that under the 1 million, they should try and grab one so that at least the rest of the Ghanaian people too can fit ourselves somewhere. Because it is clear that if they don't get to eat, the rest of the Ghanaian people will have to sit, watch, and wait. And today, if there's one thing that also saddened my heart today, very sad that Mr. President could not even give concrete timelines as to when cocoa farmers were receiving their due. Promises were made, and it is important that promises must be honored.
Well, you heard him loud and clear.
The credibility of government must also remain a priority to them. It is unfair for nurses to work for about 11 months, and just before State of the Nation's address, you bring a payment plan of April, of May, of June, of July, knowing very well that you are appearing a day before the people of Ghana and then to address Parliament as part of the State of the Nation's address.
Honorable, you heard him on the cocoa issue, that if government should go for a bailout, it will return to the huge debt cocoa board accumulated under your watch.
But is it not strange that Mr. President is telling us that our economy is healthy, it's resilient, and our economy is on the right footing and on the right runway? Isn't it strange that under such a very buoyant economy that you paint such a picture? You cannot pay your farmers who toiled and worked for you, your single and your largest income earner for the nation. Why? It's not just about cocoa farmers, what is due them delaying. What is critical as well is food being taken off their table. These cocoa farmers since November have struggled to even pay their medical bills. They have struggled to put food on their table. They have struggled to pay fees of their wards. They have struggled to also honor their own commitments as humans. The dignity of a human being must also be paramount to government. So it's not just about the delays in payment. Because one, you've taken the goods, the ones you have taken, you're unable to pay them. The ones they have cultivated for you, that you have given them your word to plant and harvest for you, you're unable to receive them. This is unfair.
More than 600 million Ghana cedis retrieved in the fight against corruption. 600 million Ghana cedis retrieved. Over 400 cases still being pursued by IOCO. That should deserve some applause, ain't it?
Well, the Honorable Foreign Minister was in the chamber. He has said that the government is expecting $21 billion from Oral. You have heard from the Attorney General's office that calculation was his calculation. Now, they don't talk about the $21 billion from Oral. They don't. They tell you that, and you have some of the members of Oral team, you've heard Domilovo and co. saying that quite a number of the allegations are not ones that you can even prove. So, you see, let's move away from the settings. The people of Ghana deserve the best. One thing I won't fault the NDC is when it comes to packaging. They're running the government like Instagram, made to believe. Thank you.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. You heard Sami Ewuku there speaking with us on the State of the Nation address by President John Dramani Mahama. I would engage him also briefly on what he makes of the presentation by the President.
All right, thank you, and good afternoon to viewers. I mean, we listened to the President. He spoke for over 2 hours. And I mean, interestingly, he spoke about the economy, he spoke about security, he spoke about the civil service, he spoke about, strategic direction for the rest of the year, over 2 hours. Interestingly, he touted himself about the economy and how he's doing now, the macroeconomic indicators. Interestingly, as we all know now, some of the figures statistically are looking good. He talked about inflation, talked about the Citi that has stabilized and so on and so forth. But our expectation as a minority, and we believe we are the voice for the ordinary Ghanaian, our expectation was that the President would be realistic as he delivered his speech and spoke about these, macroeconomic achievements. He'd be realistic in talking about what is happening on the ground, what the ordinary Ghanaian is going through. Okay, issues of transportation. Transport fares are so high, and even the vehicles to convey people from point A to point B are not there. Okay, look at electricity costs. Electricity cost is so high that now it's over the roof. Very soon, Ghanaians won't be able to afford energy costs. It's so much to pay electricity bills. I mean, these days, Ghanaians go to the market. What we are seeing statistically is not what they are experiencing. So really, the touting is not aligned to what is happening. Look at the cocoa sector. Today, you saw the minority. We aligned ourselves to the suffering of the ordinary Ghanaian, the ordinary cocoa farmer. How would the whole institution, like Cocoa Board, fail Ghanaians, and by extension, the government of today, fail Ghanaians to this extent? If you are promising Ghanaian cocoa farmers to pay them a certain price, then we expect that managerially, and this is easy, we've been doing this for decades, you would have had a back hedge on the basis of which you promise cocoa farmers a certain price. But if you have not locked in, if you have not hedged your back, how would you go out and even announce anything? And this government, for the sake of popularity, they even started promising cocoa farmers 7,000 cedis even before they came to power. And then they came to power, they sliced it to about 50% of that. And even that now, they've sent it falling down badly, So we expected the president at least to give a sigh of relief to cocoa farmers, to tell them that, look, I've heard your cry, I'm sorry, I'm apologizing to you, I'm reverting to the price that I gave you earlier on. At least to show some love and respect to the ordinary cocoa farmer. So today, to the minority, and like I said, we represent the ordinary Ghanaian. It was quite disappointing. Just statistical figures, nothing else. Statistical figures. That's all.
One thing that you believe that stands out for you that deserves an applause from the president based on this address?
Really, if I would give an applause to anything, I think I would struggle. Because you see, a point where I heard the majority side clapping and all that was when he was talking about roads that he's constructing. He listed a number of roads that he said he was constructing. But honestly, this is minute out of the road works that urgently have to be done.
50 major works ongoing.
No, come to my constituency, Manson Kwanta constituency. We have zero tarred roads. Zero. There's no tarred road in my constituency. I had 4 contractors working in my constituency. All of them, they've left site because they've not been paid, and no one really seemed to care. I have raised questions severally on the floor of Parliament about it. Nothing has happened. So, what should we applaud for? The economic indicators are not reflecting. The roads, we are not really seeing. Other things that he spoke about, security. He spoke about security, and I believe, Ghanaians know even what has happened, recently. Things are not that quiet. Things are not calm, and we can't really applaud him in any angle. We will debate this next week, and I believe Ghanaians, will hear about all angles of this presentation, which was over 2 hours.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. That's the Member of Parliament for Manson Kwanta, Honorable Chinebua Kodia Foko, who also spoke with us on the President's presentation of the State of the Nation. Back to you in the studio.